I have a story to tell. A story that dwells in the dark corners of memory, where light wavers and shadows whisper truths that no one wants to hear. Tonight I take you to a nameless land, a rural place lost in the 80s, where the wind sings among the trees, and loneliness can be as dangerous as a sharp knife. Listen well, for this is the story of a boy who found a friend, or something far worse. In a small village surrounded by an ancient forest, the wooden house of Henry's family stood like a fragile refuge against the wild nature. The trees, tall and gnarled, seemed to watch over the house, their branches creaking as if sharing forgotten secrets. Henry was 7 years old, but his body did not keep pace with his spirit. His monoplegia had left him weak, confined to a life of stillness, with his right leg rigid and an arm that barely obeyed. He was small, thin, with glasses that magnified his curious blue eyes, and a heart so good it almost hurt to see. His father, a decent man but trapped in a transient job, dragged the family from one place to another, never allowing them to put down roots. Each move was another tear in Henry, who couldn't make friends or play like other children. With no modern distractions, he immersed himself in books, devouring pages as if words could fill the void that life had denied him. One afternoon, after yet another move that promised to be the last, as his father always said with a voice laden with guilt, Henry ventured into the forest. His overprotective mother had forbidden him, but the winter had covered the world with a frozen stillness that called to him. The sun was already sinking, tinting the sky a dull gray when he saw it. Among the trees, a short, rotund figure emerged from the dimness. Its body was grotesque, as if it had been molded from wet, clumsy clay. But what froze Henry's blood was its mouth, an impossible gash stretching from ear to ear, revealing sharp teeth in a smile that never reached its eyes. "Hello, little one. I'm Mr. Bigmouth," it said in a syrupy, almost hypnotic voice. Henry, though trembling, did not run. There was something in that being, a strange calm, that ensnared him like a spider's web. They sat beneath a tree, and the Goblin spoke. He told of a magical kingdom, a place of wonders where there was no pain or loneliness, far better than the horrible human world. Then, with a sly glint in his eyes, he added, "Don't tell your parents about me. They won't believe you. I only appear to children and the elderly. If you speak, they'll think you're crazy." Henry, wise for his age, nodded. His parents, with their tired faces and adult worries, would never understand. That night, Mr. Bigmouth appeared again, sliding silently from under the bed. They talked until dawn, the Goblin weaving fantastic tales while Henry confessed his wounds, the moves, his illness, his loneliness. For the first time, the boy felt that someone truly listened to him. The Goblin returned each night during the holidays, always with that enormous smile, always attentive. But there was an edge to his presence, a nuance that Henry, in his innocence, couldn't quite name. One night, everything changed. Mr. Bigmouth sat in a chair by the bed, his silhouette outlined against the moonlight. "Do you want to see something interesting?" he asked, his voice deeper, hungrier. Henry, curious, nodded. The Goblin led him to the window, abruptly opening it, letting in a gust of icy air, and without warning he leaped out from the second floor. He fell like a stone, hitting the ground with a dull crash, and then, as if made of rubber, bounced back to the window with impossible agility. Henry let out a nervous little laugh, astonished. "Now you," said the goblin, extending a hand with twisted fingers. Henry recoiled, his instinct screaming. "I can't. I'm human. I'd hurt myself." Mr. Bigmouth's smile twisted into a grimace of disgust. "You certainly can. You just have to believe." But Henry, with the maturity that life had forced upon him, refused. The goblin looked at him with eyes as dark as wells, and with a low growl said, "Then I'm leaving." And he vanished, leaving behind an oppressive silence. 3 days later he returned. Henry awoke with a start to find him at the foot of the bed, holding 6 kitchen knives, 3 in each hand, whose blades gleamed in the dim light. With inhuman dexterity, the goblin began juggling, the knives spinning in a deadly whirlwind. Then he paused the act and offered them to the boy. "Try it. I'll teach you." Henry, heart pounding, shook his head. "I can't. Please, no." The goblin frowned, his patience waning. "I want what's best for you," he whispered, drawing closer. "I want to take you to my world." Terrified, Henry couldn't refuse. He lay down rigidly as the goblin nestled by his side, whispering dark promises into his ear until the dawn chased him away. The final encounter was in the forest. Mr. Bigmouth waited for him by a narrow path, one that Henry had never crossed before. "Give me your hand. Let's go together to my kingdom," he said, his voice now a command disguised as a plea. Henry hesitated, but the goblin had already grabbed him, his fingers as cold as marble. Then from the house his father's voice cut through the air. "Henry, come back now!" The goblin dissolved into a cloud of smoke, and Henry ran to his father, clinging to him like a lifeline. From that day on, he never left his father's side, terrified that loneliness might draw him back into those clutches. The family moved shortly after. As the car drove away, Henry looked out the window and saw Mr. Bigmouth in his old room, waving goodbye from the mirror with a feigned, sinister sadness. He didn't respond. Years later, he discovered the truth. The forest path led to a forgotten cemetery where every tombstone marked the grave of a child. And so this story ends. On the cold nights of that nameless place, some swear they hear laughter among the trees. But heed this warning. Not everything that offers companionship is a friend. There are beings lurking in loneliness, waiting for you to let your guard down. And when you do, well, that's another tale for another night.